ロマコメの帝王ヒュー・グラントがやばい。
You think he wants? I think that we're being studied.
絶対逃がさない異端者の家。
その家、扉を開いたら最後。
It will make your hearts beat faster. It may even make you want to die.
最悪の脱出ゲームへようこそ。
Scary.
異端者の家。
I think it is time.
Time for what?
Time for a new game.
クワイエットプレイスの脚本家が仕掛ける。
It's not going through. You think he wants? I think that we're being studied.
最悪の脱出ゲームが始まる。
It will make your hearts beat faster. It may even make you want to die.
仕掛けられた罠。
Scary.
生きて出られるか。異端者の家。
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, are you-
My name is Sister Barnes, and oh my gosh.
それはただの勧誘訪問のはずだった。
Are you interested in learning more about the Church of Jesus Christ?
Come on in.
We can't come inside unless another woman is present.
My wife is home. Does that count?
Great.
You like pie?
Yeah.
My wife has pie in the oven.
Make yourselves at home. I will go and check on pie. Ladies, I think it is time.
クワイエットプレイスの脚本家が仕掛ける。
It's not going through. You think he wants? I think that we're being studied.
最悪の脱出ゲームが始まる。
It will make your hearts beat faster. It may even make you want to die.
扉を開いたら
Now on. We challenge you.
二度と出られない。
Scary. Do not be afraid. You will witness a miracle.
Itanshaの家。
So we just need your help with the door. It's a little tricky.
Sorry?
I think your door's a bit stuck out there.
The door won't open.
The front door?
Yeah, the front door won't open again.
It opened when we came in.
Yeah.
Maybe if you unlock it, it will open?
No, I understand what you're asking me, but the deadbolts are on a timer. I got carried away with our conversation. I didn't realize the brace had been set. I should have pulled the pin when you came in, but I forgot. So if you are now regrettably ready to leave, you'll have to exit through the back of my house.
Where?
Just through here.
Well, can you just unlock the front one, please? We would like to go that way.
Just so we don't get turned around and confused when we get outside.
Yeah. It won't open again till morning.
Please, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. I promise you, it's safe to leave this way. Huh?
It's a little unusual to have a door that locks on a timer.
Yes, well, I see that. Yeah.
And it's a little unusual that it can't be unlocked.
I think it is time.
Time for what?
Time for a new game.
クワイエットプレイスの脚本家が仕掛ける。
It's not going through. You think he wants? I think that we're being studied.
最悪の脱出ゲームが始まる。
It will make your hearts beat faster. It may even make you want to die.
仕掛けられた罠。
Scary.
生きて出られるか。異端者の家。
So what originally drew each of you to this script?
I was drawn to it, and knowing that it was A24, I really like Scott and Brian. They were writers on a movie that I'd done, so I felt like some kind of trust, and just thought it was like a really strange, brilliant script.
Yeah, I think A24 was one of the first things I read, and then Sister Missionaries was mentioned, and I just had this feeling in my stomach, like I need to do this. I feel like I, in another life, went on a mission and I didn't. Instead, my friends went for me, and so this was kind of my chance to serve that mission in a very real, non-stereotypical way, because the writing was so good. Yeah.
Well, there was lots that was attractive. It was cool and fresh and odd, really odd, weird and twisted. And I've become, over the last 8-10 years, addicted to playing freaks. And I have to up it each time. I get my dose. It's like any addict. It just felt like a good dose of utter poison.
And was there anything you did specifically to prepare for this role? Any inspirations you drew from?
Chloe helped me a lot with, because Chloe is very in touch and had a lot of friends that were on missions, but also I grew up in the church and thought about my cousins. My dad went on a mission, so I asked my mom about that. Yeah, it was kind of just like about like channeling a lot of my family and a lot of what I was feeling when I was younger.
Yeah, same for me. I basically harassed all my friends on missions while they were doing what Paxton and Barnes does. I was asking them so many questions, almost like I was having a missionary lesson of like, just tell me how it goes, and like how long and how many people do you talk to a day, and just kind of stuff like that, scriptures to read. And yeah, I basically just harassed my friends, and we would even have them on the phone while in between like shooting some things, and yeah, they helped a lot prepare.
I did my normal ridiculous tooth comb, like an archaeologist, through the script over and over again, trying to work out motivations and backstory. But I also did a lot of research into serial killers and into cult leaders.
Wow, that's very interesting. And can you tell us a little bit about your experiences working with Scott Beck and Brian Woods?
Yeah, I loved working with them so much. They're just true lovers of cinema and seeing movies in the cinema, and they're so passionate. And I mean, the fact that they even own a theater in Iowa is so, and they have film projection, like they really care. And I don't know, I think it was really, I've never worked with two directors before, and also two directors that work so well together, and they're not fighting, and they just seem like they had, you know, they were on the same page, and they just have this audience perspective while they're shooting as well, which is very unique. They just are kind of masters in the genre, and they really understand what's going to translate. And it's really fascinating to see how they worked, and I had a really great time working with them.
Great. And Hugh, you've taken quite the turn from traditional rom-com leading man to playing darker roles in the last several years, as you previously noted. What was it specifically about Mr. Reed that was so enticing to you?
Well, I thought he could be fun while being diabolical. I thought that's always an interesting combination. That he's, you know, he talks about how he used to teach at a university, and I had him down as the fun teacher who was a bit groovier. I saw him in Double Denim. That was a big breakthrough for me. Working out who he was. I saw that guy, Double Denim and sort of trendy glasses, with a good following, particularly among the female students, who then back away from him quite fast.
I certainly would. Sophie and Chloe, can you talk about what it was about Paxton and Barnes that makes them so different from typical Final Girls?
I think you expect them to be a very certain way, and throughout a good, 20% of the movie, you see them being very agreeable and people pleasing. And there's also like the religious factor that I think is another factor that we don't usually see. Yeah, I think they just have a really amazing arc, and a lot of, the terror in this movie is through religious and philosophical debate. So I think that is something different. They prove themselves through that. I think we haven't really seen much of that before.
Yeah.
Great. And one last question for you all. How would you describe this film to get somebody to go see it?
Ooh. It's funny. It really is surprisingly funny. When we've seen it with a live audience, it's Hugh, and it was also stuff that he improvised while we were shooting, and it really is. Don't go in it thinking it's a comedy, but because it's not a comedy, but it's a unique spin on the horror genre, and I think it's. It kind of messes with your head.
That's the ambition, is to mess with people's heads.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole A24 mission, really.
Yeah.
To send you into therapy for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it is time.
Time for what?
Time for a new game.
クワイエットプレイスの脚本家が仕掛ける
It's not going through. You think he wants? I think that we're being studied.
最悪の脱出ゲームが始まる
It will make your hearts beat faster. It may even make you want to die.
仕掛けられた罠
Scary.
生きて出られるか異端者の家
So we were inspired to write Heretic from the standpoint that we've known each other since we were kids, and ever since then, I think we've had our own versions of theological debates and like this looming question of what happens when you die, and wondering about that existential quandary. And I think as we got older, we started collecting so many friends and family members from different belief backgrounds. And the more that we learned about other belief systems, the more that we wanted to find a vessel at which we could have these conversations on screen.
And I think there was also just like the showmanship part of the piece of like doing a roller coaster ride of a movie where the thrills don't come from cheap jump scares or monsters hiding in the shadows. It comes from dialogue and intellectual ideas and philosophical ideas. Like, could we turn a jump scare into just a line that somebody says? And then would that in some way actually be more powerful because it can potentially get stuck in the audience's head? So I think we kind of combined this theological debate with our experiment of doing a dialogue-driven horror film. Yeah, you would think that we had him in mind, because when we finished writing the script, we were terrified of casting, because we just felt like, well, who could play this role? It was like finding a unicorn or something, and eventually we just kept gravitating back to Hugh. We love the idea of weaponizing 30 years of goodwill that he has built up with an audience, people who love him and trust him, and using that as an anchor to get our sister missionaries and therefore the audience into this dangerous house. But more than that, we just think in the last 10 years he's proven to be one of the great character actors in cinema history, and it's been really inspiring as admirers of his work to see the crazy, bold choices that he makes. This is somebody who decided to play an Oompa Loompa in a Wonka movie. This is somebody who, is the villain in Paddington 2, and then also does all these incredible character turns with Guy Ritchie. And that to us is we just recognized an artist who wanted to take a big chance with every role that he takes, and we thought maybe he'd be a good fit for Mr. Reed. Well, we needed the greatest we basically needed the greatest team of crew in the history of cinema, because the film is a chamber piece and it's dialogue driven, and the last thing we wanted to do was film a stage play. So we needed Chung Hoon Chung, who shot Old Boy, to elevate the sense of atmosphere and terror with his framing and his lighting. We needed Betsy Hyman, who started her career with Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. We needed her to come in and create kind of three iconic wardrobe choices for our leads, because we're going to be staring at them the whole movie. Phil Messina, who we adore, who anything from Hunger Games to Aronofsky's Mother, he really embraced this idea of like Dante's Inferno, where the deeper into the house you get, the more and more kind of terrifying, and you're peeling back layers, and it's exposing something in Reed's nature and his true identity. The deeper you get into the house, and all of those tools of cinema were necessary for us to make sure that the movie felt grand and huge in scope, even though it's very intimate and personal in its ideas and its conversation.
This is a movie that is made for the theatrical experience of seeing it with hundreds of strangers in a darkened theater. It's a movie that at once is scary, it's thrilling, and yet it's darkly comical too, especially using Hugh Grant in his darkest role yet. And I think if people want to submit themselves to the dangers of this film, it's going to provoke them in ways that hopefully they're not expecting once they finally see it.
I think it is time.
Time for what?
Time for a new game.
クワイエットプレイスの脚本家が仕掛ける
It's not going through. You think he wants? I think that we're being studied.
最悪の脱出ゲームが始まる
It will make your hearts beat faster. It may even make you want to die.
仕掛けられた罠
Scary.
生きて出られるか異端者の家